my name is Chris, and I just want to show you guys one thing with piano for music producers today. So first and foremost, let's just say we have any chord. Let's say we have this C minor, for example. When I play that C minor, I'm playing a C in the bass, and I'm also playing C, E flat, and G in my right hand. Now, if I simply just move that C to any other bass note in my left hand, I automatically get another chord. And I can decide based on what bass note I'm using. That can be the ultimate thing that changes the tone and the mood for that chord. So I can keep it what you would call tonic, right? You can keep it like, oh, this is the exact note that you would expect to be played with this. Is C minor. Hey, it's just a C. Now I also could add another C. I could do two C's in my left hand, and I can play octaves like that, and that'll give me a much fuller sound. I can also add in a fifth to those bass notes, which would be this G. We can have a very jazzy chord just by, like I said, moving that left root bass note down. We'll move it down to B flat. If we take that B flat and we put it at the top of our chord in our right hand, so C, E, G, B flat, we now have a C7, right? Very strong chord that we can use. Again, C7 in my right hand, I'm going to move my left hand. So we have a C in the bass. Here we have with B flat in the bass. And now here we have with a G in the bass. Okay, all different chords there. All right. Moving that left hand bass note around gives us some different chords and gives us some different kinds of sounds, right? So we tried it with some triad chords. Now let's try it with some seventh chords, for example. So here we have F major 7, and what we can do is we can play that F chord, right? We can play that F note in our bass, and we have F major 7, but we also can play this D, okay? And that will make it a D minor 9, okay? Now, if I move this D up closer to this other hand, you can see it, and we can start to spell it out. D, F, A, C, E. Okay, D minor 9. Okay, so you can see that, right? Now you have this really nice, full sounding chord that you can also just kind of keep simple just by changing the bass note. Once you have that principle down, the next thing that you can do is you can start to play around with that seventh chord in your right hand, because you don't always have to play the seventh chord. You can play the triad, you can play a sustained chord, you can play the seventh chord, okay? You can play different variations of the chord, and by playing those different variations of the chord in your right hand, you'll get different opportunities to play different chords. We can start with our major chord, and we can play our seventh chord, and then we can play a sustained chord, and then we can end. And we haven't really changed chords a whole ton there. I'll go ahead and use our chord sequencer to map those different chords out. So we started with the regular F chord, and then we moved down to the D minor 9, and then we're going to also play this sustained chord here, and then we'll end with over F. And so you can see here, these all will sound really good together. Okay. And all we really did was move that left note. Okay, we just moved that left note a little bit from F to D to B flat back to F. Okay, very easy to get some variety and get some cool sounding chords without actually doing a whole lot. Like, we didn't move around the piano a ton, you know, to play these chords. So then the technique would be to combine different chord types with different bass notes to give you that rhythm without having to play all over the piano. Here are 4 chords in the key of F major that you can use in your next beat. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video, and if so, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.